Hey, Todd here. So I've been using the Ronin RS2 Pro, the DJI, for gimbal for quite some time. Since the RS2 Pro came out, I've had it and been using it. I've used it every different way, with just using the gimbal by itself, with the grip small handles on the side and one out the back, and any way, shape or form, and with the tilt-a-ring system here, which I really like, which I think is very good, but yet holding this thing out for some time during the day is just, it gets to be really tiresome on my arms, on my lower back. So I thought, I'm gonna buy this Flycam thing with the Red King, the Galaxy, and see what I think, see if it'll help alleviate some of that getting tired of holding this thing and needing to put it down, needing to take a break, that just all of that goes along with holding this thing out there with the weight. When you got and I'm working with my C70 on there, and you know the Ronin in there, it's heavy. I mean, it's not a light rig at all. And then you put a V-mount battery on there and a monitor, and it just really starts to get heavy. So the Galaxy Flycam with the Red King, I'm hoping is going to alleviate a lot of that problem in my arms and give me the ability to go longer without having to put the thing down. Because I've got this job coming up where I've got to do I believe it's 4 walking interviews out in a park. So I'm going to be out there for hours, having to hold this rig and doing multiple takes and everything. So I'm hoping the money I just spent on this Flycam vest and arm and the Red King thing, it pays off. So that's what we're going to be reviewing today and seeing how well it works. So this is the tilt-a-ring setup I've got with the controller over here, which is nice, start and stop. So this whole rig is really good, and it works really well. I have no problem with it at all, except I just can't hold it for too long. And like I said, the C70 is a pretty heavy rig. So that's why that's why we're testing out this Galaxy Flycam and the Red King, is just to see if I can alleviate that weight and be able to hold this thing for a longer period of time. And you know, I don't even have my monitor or anything connected onto this yet, or my extra V-mount battery. So it's still pretty heavy with this C70 on there. So now we'll take a look at the way I've got it set up on the Flycam. Okay, before we can get this thing balanced out and start working on this, there's a few products you need to buy. The first thing is on the very top here that you mount on the top is a Tilta power base plate, which lets you put the Ronin RS, you can put a 4, 3, 2 on here, and it comes with its own cable, which comes down to here, and then you need a D-tap to P-tap, male to female extension cable. This one's 3.2 feet long, which gets you down to your V-mount battery, and you've got to buy a little base plate, which I'll put links to all these things on there, and then you get a couple screws at your local hardware store that lets you mount it right onto this wing at the bottom of the Red King here to get that all mounted up. So once you've got all those little things in place, then you can get the Ronin and with your camera mounted on it and start balancing it out. So the vest we have here, it's not the easiest thing to put on by yourself. I've kind of found the technique that works for me is I put this on one side first, and then grab this wing that's sticking out here, put that one on in the middle here, like that. And I think I just messed up my mic. And then this bottom one, it goes across your lower back, goes onto the bottom. And you want these things to be fairly tight when it's on, so it fits nice and snug. And then grab this top one over the top here, which goes into this clip here, like that. So then you're all rigged up and ready to go. It took a couple tries to get this adjusted to the right fit and fitting nice and snug, and figuring out the best way to put this together, and definitely put this part on last. Do this section first, then this section, then that section, and it all goes together well after that. So the next thing you need to do is make sure you've already got your camera balanced on your Ronin, so it's all ready to go before you start mounting it up onto the Red King here, before you put it into the mount. And the nice thing about the base plate right here is you can go from this plate right into the Ronin circle, so you can just mount one to the other really quickly, and you don't need to readjust your camera because it's already balanced on the Ronin. You just take it off, move it from here, move it to there, so you can change systems really quickly with this base plate on here like this. And it makes it nice. And you can also take this base plate, mount it on your fluid head, and stick it on your tripod, and then be able to move as well nicely on that, which is cool too. But anyway, so you're all balanced here. Now we're going to put it onto here and balance this out. Now that we've got it mounted on the Red King and everything's up and the Ronin's running, make sure your lens is kind of where you want it to be roughly, so everything is balanced. Once you change one thing, it's going to change the balance of everything. So you kind of figure out, I want to be at 24 or whatever on the lens, and you're going to stay there roughly. And then you've got your knobs on the side. The side knob here moves the camera side to side, and then you got a knob in the back that moves it front to back to get your balance. And right now I'm pretty well balanced, which it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to balancing this thing. I still don't quite have it exactly the way I like it. I'm finessing it, and maybe I'm trying to be too critical, but it is a little difficult to get it balanced just right. But right now it looks pretty good. Then we can grab the arm, which we're going to mount it to, and there's a couple mounts on the front of the vest down here on the bottom. Either mount on the right side or the left side. For me, I'm going to mount on the left side. So you just take the arm, and it just slides right in there, and there's a locking screw. You just lock that in like that, and then you're ready to go with your arm. And then just grab the camera, which this thing wants to move away like an octopus arm. So you grab this guy and then put it onto here, and then you're good to go. And then you can adjust. It's got some adjustment knobs on here for tension, so you get those guys adjusted to where you like it, and then you're ready to go right there. So it's pretty much balanced pretty good right now. And then you just kind of use your right hand as a little bit of a guide, I've found, and then you're just ready to start shooting. Pretty simple like that. And then you can swing down. I kind of prefer to have it a little bit in this position. It seems to feel better for me. And then I just kind of guide it along like that and just move it around, and it's super smooth. Puts most of the weight on your hips and a little bit on my shoulders, which the shoulders and hips kind of take the weight instead of my forearms. And I really, really like that better. So now that we're all connected up and things seem to be pretty well balanced, we're going to load this up in the car and go see my dad, who's at work this morning. And he's 90 years old, still goes to work 4 days a week. So we're going to run in, see if I can use him as a subject, and test these two things out and see which works better. But right now, this thing is feeling really good. Nice little bounce to it and a little tip. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot. I feel like I could do this a long time with the weight and everything on here. Feels good, feels good. Okay, let's get this thing unmounted, back on the stand, and head out of here. All right, just pulled up to my dad's work. I'm really hoping this vest and Flycam and the Red King work great, because I really need it to take the pressure off my arms and my back and my shoulder. Holding that thing out like this is just not ideal after a few hours. So we're going to test that now. Going to start with the on the tilt-a-ring first. Get this going first. See what it looks like.
This is for tomorrow's returns, today's returns. And now I have to walk down here and bring out tomorrow's load.
Now we got the Flycam set up with the Red King and the Ronin RS2. My balance is a little bit off, but we're going to give it a go now.
Okay, I'm putting these over here for route guys to stack up the empties. I walk about 2 miles a day doing this, moving it from place to place.
This makes holding all this system so much easier. It's so much easier to go low and back to high. And the weight is up on my shoulders and not out on my arms, forearms. This is just a much better system, especially from my back. The balance of this thing isn't quite perfect yet, but the weight of it, I could do this way longer. I could do this all day. Way less strain on my back and on my forearms and shoulders. It's really nice. Can't wait to see the footage. So after the test, not a big difference in the footage. I mean, having the tilted cage or whatever you want to call circle, the Ronin in that works really well, and it looks really smooth and feels good. I do think the Flycam with the arm makes going up and down smoother. The whole thing just feels smoother in my hands, and the way the camera moves and everything, it just feels really good. And walking was easy, especially going backwards, not being bent over or having to lean over was really helpful. And being able to just tip that thing down and not have to bend all the way down to get down to a low shot, or grab the other handle on the top to lower it down with one hand. It's still tiring. And like I said, that rig is not light after you've been holding it a bit. Like even when it's on the Red King just by itself, I can't really hold it with the weights on the bottom and the V-mount on the bottom. I can't hold it with one hand, it's just too heavy. I mean, I could for a minute or two, but not for any length of time. So yeah, I think it was a good investment for $589, I think it was, or $583 for the vest, the arm, and the Red King thing. I think it was money well spent, and I can't wait to use it on this job. And thanks to my dad, he's such a trooper for always just being up for being in any kind of test I want to do or anything like that. And 90 years old and still working. That's where I got my work ethic from. He's just keeps going, says it's keeping him alive, and I said, then just keep working as long as you can. But yeah, he's up every 4 days a week. It's down there at 6:30, working till noon. He's a trooper, and I appreciate him being in the video, being my volunteer test subject for this. But anyway, I appreciate you watching always. Subscribe, like, all that business. And until I'm out, until next time I'm out. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Until next time, I'm out.